Hello everybody, it's me, Dustin Benzel again for another Pokemon anime discussion video. Um, as I said before in another video, this will be about the titles that were recently revealed almost like a week ago, I believe. It was like last Tuesday or Monday or something like that, that a whole bunch of titles were released. And unfortunately I couldn't talk about it because my computer broke and I had to get a new one. So let's get into it. Sorry this isn't going to be quite what I wanted before about the future of XY anime, but I will get to that eventually. So I have the summaries and titles here. Um, just some new information about titles that we already know. Apparently, when Froakie evolves into Frogadier, it's actually confirmed instead of just speculated. It's without a doubt confirmed. Frogadier will be learning Aerial Ace, and you will know why that will be important later on in this video. Um, Also, the Skiddo episode with Serena has a new summary. One of the captions that came with the magazine that revealed a bunch of titles also revealed a little bit more information, and it says something along the lines that her mother being a Rhyhorn racer, and she was raised to try and be a racer as her mother wanted, but Serena has decided to become a Pokemon performer, performing in the Tripokathon, or Pokelon, what the, hold on, I have to recheck something real quick. I'm pretty sure that is not what the thing is called. I think it's Tripokathon, or whatever. Tripokelon? That doesn't sound right, hold on. Excuse me. I thought I had everything written down properly. Hold on. Okay, let me go real quick here to Serena's Bulbapedia page real quick to see what she actually is trying to become specifically. History, Pokemon Idol, Chase Rhyhorn Race, okay. It is called Pokemon Showcases. Is that the English name for it? Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot better. The summary that I had was based off the Japanese summary, so it used the Japanese, and the Japanese is the Tripokalon. I'm guessing that's what it's pronounced as. But the English dub came out with Pokemon Showcase. That's a little bit better. I can go with that. Okay. So forget what I said about the Tripokalon thing or whatever. So let me go back to the summary here. So hold on, I wonder if it's actually performer since it's a showcase. Pokemon performers. Okay. All right. So Serena has decided that she wanted to be a Pokemon performer, which I will get into when we get into another episode, but she has decided that she wanted to become a Pokemon performer and she wanted to do Pokemon showcases, but her mother, being a Rhyhorn racer, wanted Serena to be a Rhyhorn racer, so there's some confliction here. And to convey that she wants to be a showcaser performer in Pokemon showcases, they decide to have a Skiddo race, and that's what the wild Skiddo race is all about. With that Skiddo episode, I guessing that Serena's mother will actually make an appearance in this episode based on the summary. So that's good because we haven't seen her mother since that um, video phone call. I believe it was in that actual Rhyhorn racing episode. I believe when Serena told her mother that she was going to travel with Ash, Clement, and Bonnie. I believe that's the last time we saw Grace. I'm not sure. I haven't seen a lot of the recent Serena episodes, so I'm not entirely sure on that. I know, but I'm way behind on a lot of videos. So, Okay, so that's up to December 18th, and for Christmas, I'm not sure why they're airing this on Christmas, especially since it's more important that we see the next episode on Christmas, but I guess that's just the way that things work. Guess they wanted a break from an evolution from a capture, and you'll see why in just a moment. Okay, so the first new title, I know, but that's just me. That's how I am. So, as I said, the December 25th episode, a brand new episode, is about Malamar versus Inkay, and it'll be about the bond that will save the world. And this will revolve around James Inkay battling the Malamar, which is suggested, implied, or pretty much confirmed to be the same Malamar from before. The one that took over an Officer Jenny and a lot of other Pokemon, and it was up to Ash and Meowth, I believe, at this particular time to fight off Malamar and get everyone under control, and Malamar ran away and stuff like that. So apparently it's coming back, which is fine. Hopefully this Malamar's origins will be revealed a little bit more. It's a little weird to see a Pokemon doing this all by itself. So hopefully there will be some more revelations about Malamar. I know Malamar isn't exactly the nicest Pokemon, seeing as how I'm a fan of Malamar, and it uses its hypnotic flashing lights or whatever, I believe, to control Pokemon and stuff like that. But a Malamar plotting to conquer the entire world, that sounds more like something is controlling Malamar from a human perspective, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens in this particular episode. So that will air on Christmas Day. Um, so, like I said, I'm not entirely sure why that's going to happen on Christmas, especially when the next episode is a little bit more important. But I guess they needed a gap from the time that Froakie evolved. Now, if you remember in my last two videos, we were talking about spoilers of a cake and a script, and on the cake and script, there was a Gudra. And I think I also mentioned, maybe in passing, that that there is a trailer where Gumi lands on Ash's head, and Gumi is going to be caught by a main character from the anime and will eventually fully evolve into Gudra. And here we go, and we have that episode title revealed. The weakest dragon, Gumi, appears. The Japanese is Numera appears or whatever. So, okay, sorry, kind of a little distracted there. Heard something in the other part of the house. That's not important. So this pretty much confirms that it is, and logic reigns through, that the writers decided to give Ash a Gumi. Gumi makes the most sense. Or Ash getting Gumi made the most sense. And here is the summary for the Gumi episode right here. Um, well, that's a little less than what I thought it was going to be. Hold on, there was a better summary somewhere else. The summary that I have right now seems to be limited. Apologies on that. So let me come over here to the forums and get an actual bigger summary, because it's just paraphrased right now. And the actual full summary actually does sound a lot better than that short paraphrasing that the summary I got from. So hold on just a moment. Guess they didn't do all the captions or something like that, or I don't know. They were as thorough as I thought they were. It's gonna be a while. Slow. Well, anyway, if there was anything that I missed in the summary, hopefully the page will load up here and I will be able to do a proper summary. But the summary revolves around the weakest dragon, Gumi, as it portrays in the, or as it says in the Pokedex, that Gumi is considered the weakest dragon Pokemon. Um, There may be debates on whether or not Gumi is actually weak or not, or the weakest, but that's what the Pokedex entry, and this is what the summary is about. And it's about a weak Gumi that is weak and it wants to be stronger, and Ash wants Gumi to join his team because Ash wants to help it get stronger. Like I said, that's not very good summary. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the full summary. Team Rocket end up abducting a Gumi alongside Pikachu. The weakest among all dragon types, a Gumi joins Ash. Suddenly, a Gumi appears before Ash. It's said to be the weakest of all dragon types, but a Gumi comes falling from the sky. Suddenly, oh, sorry, sorry. Suddenly, a Gumi falls down the sky right down in front of Ash. It appears to be extremely weak, but Gumi. It has a gooey and extremely soft body. Is it really a dragon type? While it gets water on it, it gets somewhat perky. Its body absorbs water, which causes it to regain its stamina. Gumi is so weak, it's even scared of Dedenne. Gumi is deathly afraid of Dedenne with the Pokemon Bonnie carries with her. What can the reason be? What nasty memories does Gumi carry with it? It actually wants to be strong. The truth is, Gumi actually wants to grow stronger. Ash understands how it feels, and so, do you want to travel with me? So that's the full summary. I don't know why the full summary of that wasn't on there, but whatever. So yeah, so it's pretty much confirmed that Gumi is going to be caught, and it will be going to Ash, because at this point it would be a complete insult to Ash that the writers would ever do if this all happened and Ash was bonding with Gumi and then Gumi decided to be with Clement, Bonnie, or Serena. That would just be insulting. So it's pretty much confirmed that Gumi is in fact joining Ash's team. Um, and which is good. I'm I'm perfectly fine with what's going on here. Gumi being weak needs to get stronger, and that explains its evolution. And I didn't exactly mention this before because I was kind of leaving it vague, but I want to go into it now. And Gumi fully evolving quickly actually makes logical sense. I mean, now now if it was going to evolve very much, they could have took the time in the world, but I actually understand why Gumi is evolving quickly, and it's due to its being stronger. Gumi probably has a limited preset strengths and mobility issues and stuff like that. Who knows how it's weak, if it's move set or it just can't attack strong enough. And ordinarily, I can understand that working on the Pokemon itself to make it stronger might be a thing, but I can understand why evolution would actually help precipitate this, maybe because Gumi is already close to evolving, although in the anime it's not really certain when a Pokemon is ready to evolve or chooses to evolve. So, in terms of Gumi wanting to be stronger, it deciding to evolve does make sense. Now, a lot of people will think, well, why is it evolving so quickly into Gudra? Because Gudra is probably going to happen within the next 6 months or whatever. Excuse me. Well, there's a couple of reasons like that. If we go solely based on the games, Gumi evolves into Siligu at level 40, and then it further evolves into Grudra at level 50 plus when it's raining. Now, as you know in the games, your Pokemon don't necessarily have to evolve at the exact requirement that they can evolve at. You can cancel their evolution or slap an Everstone and they won't evolve. So it could theoretically possible that Gumi has already reached some of the requirements to evolve into a Sliggoo, but it needs that extra push, and that's where Ash comes in. So it might already be technically above that level, so it could quickly evolve into Gudra. And there's also another thing. I mean, yes, I can see why the writers would want to capitalize on it and show it and stuff like that, but maybe it evolving quickly makes sense in other ways, as I will mention. Hold on. I'm so unprepared. Oh, holy crap. Okay. So, like I said, Gumi evolves at level 40 in the games, and it evolves further at level 50 plus while it's raining. So, that might explain why Gumi quickly evolves into Sugu, because it may have already reached the most requirements to evolve. Maybe it has enough level experience to evolve. Again, the anime is different. That may not be the case. A Pokemon can evolve under any circumstances because the games have limitations, and I understand why the anime is so liberal with their evolutions and stuff like that, because it makes sense in terms of anime that a Pokemon that would ordinarily evolve by level would easily evolve under any circumstances. Because did um because in the anime there are no like levels and stuff like that. Hold on. Sorry, I was indirectly bothered. So you'll see a weird transition there because I stopped recording and then started up again. Okay, so like I said, Gumi evolving quickly makes sense in the anime because it in the anime it makes sense for a Pokemon to evolve by level in any way that the writers choose to evolve it under emotional distress and so forth and everything like that. So that makes sense. So it could have already technically reached the requirements to evolve to Sliggoo, but it needs that extra push to evolve into Sliggoo. So we will probably definitely see Gumi for at least 5-10 episodes before it evolves. So then why would Sliggoo quickly evolve? Well, outside of already probably hitting the requirement of evolving further into Goodra on top of Rain, a logical reason for why Sliggoo isn't going to be around for very long is its Pokedex entry where it says its eyes devolved, so it can't see anything. Now, however, it does use the 4 antennae horn-like things to see. It says here that it uses its horns to sense sounds and smells rather than using ears or nose. The heck? No, go away. What the heck? Okay, sorry, some update thing came up and disturbed me. So I can see why Sliggoo isn't going to be around, because it might be actually detrimental to the character development that Gumi's character is going to have. It can already see as a Gumi, but then it can't see and it wants to be stronger, so there might be some struggling there. Or it could just be as simple as Sliggoo is there, it can't see, it's blind, uses its 4 horns or antennae, I guess. Well, they're technically antennae, but I guess they call them horns. And so it uses its, so it can't see, so then it hits rain. There's going to be a rain episode where it's raining, and Sliggoo is going to quickly evolve into Gudra. So it makes sense that Gumi would fully evolve into Gudra really quick. So I just wanted to go over that and stuff like that. So that's pretty much for what I have to say about Gumi evolving into Gudra and stuff like that. So let's go on to the next episode, which also revolves around Gumi, and it's do your best to Dende, do it for Gumi. And the summary that comes with it is Ash gets separated from everyone in the forest due to a Team Rocket attack. As per usual, Team Rocket. So in the previous episode summary captions or whatever, we learned that Gumi is afraid of Dendende for some odd reason. My personal belief is that it might be a mix of something that happened in its past and the fact that Dedenne is a fairy type, and fairy types are immune to dragon types and are super effective against fairy or dragon types. However, since Dedenne can only learn one fairy type offensive attacking move, I believe, and that's play rough. And I don't think Dedenne has play rough. I don't think Gumi will have anything to worry about. And it seems like in the next episode that Dedenne and Gumi will have some sort of resolution to Gumi's fear of being afraid of Dedenne. So it seems like Dedenne will be protecting Gumi, which is pretty good. Dedenne really doesn't get anything, being the Pokemon being carried by Bonnie. Okay, so we'll move on from there. The next episode isn't that exciting. It might be, who knows. It's the Vanillite Panic and Ice Covered Whiteout, and it is due to Team Rocket's evil deeds as they tried to aim to capture a uh, Vanillite or Vanillish. Hold on, that's which was being taken care of. A town freezes over. Now, I'm not sure. I heard that there's going to be a Vanillite and Vanillish in this episode. In the picture that we see that's accompanying with this episode, we do see a Vanillite, but apparently Vanipedi is, I think, Japanese for Vanillish. Vanillish, I think. I'm not. Yeah, because I think Vanillite is like Barbarici, Vanilla, Vanilla. Hold on. uh, it's so hard when you're reading the summary in Japanese because you're in a website that just translates it directly from the Japanese into English without actually noticing, taking care of the issue that that you're using Japanese names and stuff like that. So if we go to Vanillite, I believe here, its Japanese name is Vanipedi. That's the, oh, that's weird. Hold on. What's Vanillish again? Oh, Vanillish was Banny or Vanarichi, or whatever it is. Well, I'm confused. I'm not sure now whether or not there is actually a Vanillish in the episode, but it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, anyway, that's the Vanillite episode. Sorry it took so long to discuss that. Okay. Oh, it's 22 minutes. Jeez. Man, I've already been talking. I haven't even got to very much. This might be a little bit longer, like 35, 40 minutes. So if we can get through, because there's something that I want to discuss, and we'll get to it in a moment. Um, okay, so the next after the Vanillite episode, it's actually the Coumarine gym battle with Ramos, and it's Frogadier versus Go-Go. Now, I already addressed this. Good that Pikachu is apparently not starring, because starring for the fourth gym in a row would be utterly ridiculous. Ramos will also be using a Jumpluff and Weeping Bell, apparently. Um, in the gym battle with Ramos, Double Team is going to be used by Frogadier. And as I mentioned, it will learn Aerial Ace in its evolution episode, which most likely explains why it's comfortably being used here. Um, uh, Go-Go has a chlorophyll, which remember, it like doubles the Pokemon speed during sunlight, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's pretty much it. In the video, or if you've seen the scan of the gym battle, you'll see that Go-Go will be using Vine Whip as well, and it's a very fast, unrelenting attack. And you'll see a shot of Frogadier being hit by the Vine Whip, and it's like, "Argh!" like get hit really hard, and then the next pick you'll see a bunch of Frogadier and stuff like that. If I was better at editing, and if I knew more about Windows Movie Maker, I would be overlaying an image of this so you can see it too. But don't worry, that'll be in the future. Right now, I'm not really sure how to overlay images in Windows Movie Maker, so right now you're just gonna have to deal with my ugly face. So sorry about that. Anyway, So that's the gym battle, and as I said, the aerial ace makes sense, and it's good that Frogadier is being used. And I knew that it most likely had to be used here because, as I mentioned before, that I think I mentioned before, it may have been something that I discussed in my head, but what's that? No, no, I don't want to set fires. No, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, sorry. Um, um, I always believed that Froakie and Frogadier would have a hard time being used in gyms. Viola made sense. Grant made sense. Well, I mean, it wasn't used in Viola, but Grant made sense. Ash had Pikachu and two birds to use against Karina. Then we had a grass and electric type, and um, could theoretically have been used against Valerie. Olympia is pretty neutral. It'll be super effective if it's a Greninja by that. And we're dealing with an ice type gym leader. So I can understand that the riders may technically have a hard time putting Froakie slash Frogadier into. Just one moment. Sorry about that. I was interrupted again indirectly with noises outside my room. It's hard to get some privacy around here. But anyway, as I was saying, it was gonna be hard to give Frogadier battles, so I can understand why they just decided to give Frogadier this battle because it does make somewhat sense. It is a new evolution that Ash has, so I can understand why Ash wants to use Frogadier as soon as possible. The fact that it's being used against Ramos's strongest grass Pokemon or main Pokemon is a good thing because it means that Frogadier is most likely going to win the gym battle for Ash against Ramos, which is good because Pikachu likely isn't going to use. For the other Pokemon that I speculate Ash might use during the gym battle, there's a combination of. I'm definitely going to say if Ash doesn't use Fletchinder, I'm going to be disappointed. It was horribly disappointed to see Ash using Pikachu instead of Tranquil in the battle against Berg simply because Ash decided to dump Tranquil in favor of Swaddle. I'm pretty sure Scraggy could have been sent to Juniper's lab. Anyway, that's fifth gem. So I fully expect Fletchinder. Now I'm pretty sure Ash is going to use Halucha instead of Gumi. Gumi, I'm not sure is going to do anything at this moment until it likely evolves and then goes to battle in the fifth gym with Clement. That's where I think Gumi slash Gudra, maybe Sliggoo, will make a bigger appearance. And if Ash doesn't use Gumi, Sliggoo, or Gudra during that battle, I'm going to be horribly upset because, frankly, Gumi, Sliggoo, and Gudra would be Ash's only defense against Clement outside of Pikachu because Halucha, Fletchinder, and Frogadier are all weak against electric types. So, riders, you may want to use Gumi, Sliggoo, or Gudra, whatever Pokemon Ash has at that moment against Clement, because he's going to need it. It may have been fine not to use Gumi, Sliggoo, Gudra, or Gumi. I'm pretty sure it's not going to evolve that quickly. Um, since the gym battle's only like 4 episodes after the capture, 3 episodes. So that would be interesting. But no, so I can understand why they don't want to use Gumi quite just yet. And I'll get onto this gym battle thing in just a moment. It might actually be saved for another future episode since it's getting pretty late. I'm already hitting the 30-minute mark. All these interruptions and distractions and disorganizing just really ate up a lot of that time. Okay, now here's the most interesting title that was revealed. I'm not sure of the exact translation of the summary, but everyone pretty much can guarantee that the first part of the summary is pretty much identical. It's the second part, which isn't as relevant. Now, this is why it's the most interesting. The title is Serena and Ash's First Date. And in this particular translation of the summary or the title, it's the Tree of Promises and the Present or Presence. Um, Now, as I just said, Serena and Ash's first date. Um, if you didn't get the hint from my other videos, I'm not really a shipper kind of person. I I don't really care about that. Maybe other people are fine with that, but I don't really care. But you won't believe the reaction I had when I woke up to check up on Cerebi to see if any new titles were revealed, seeing a plethora, and for some odd reason, this got my attention the most. Not the Gumi episode, not the gym battle episode, or the whatever episode. It was specifically the first thing I read in Cerebi was Serena and Ash's first date. I don't know why I picked up on that first, but I was utterly shocked and devastated. Well, not devastated, sorry, but I was shocked. I was super shocked. I mean, I had to go to other forums to see if this was accurate, or even the forum that the Serbi forums that it actually came from, just to see if this was accurate. Because the fact that it says Serena and Ash's first date is unbelievable. The good news is it's not your typical first date, I guess. As another Pokemon fan suggested in a YouTube video, it's not exactly Ash in a tuxedo asking Serena on a date. What it is, however, is that Ash and Serena are going shopping together to get presents for their Pokemon. I'm guessing this is maybe a Christmas-like type episode, maybe something similar, or maybe just maybe it's a Kalos region tradition to go out and give presents to your Pokemon at particular times frames and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm not really a shipper, and I don't really want to go into the big deal, the whatever this may represent. I do have to comment that whoever names ships needs to not name ships, because apparently the shipping between Serena and Ash is Amore shipping, and the only reason I can think of why it would be Amore shipping is because Kalos is based in France. The Kalos region is based in France, and Amour is a French word, I believe, and I believe it means love. If I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, why? Yeah. Amour is like a secret or illicit love affair or lover, basically, or something like that. And it's a French word, I believe. And I'm just like, why? I mean, if we go illicit love affair, I'm not really sure this makes any sense. Shipper, namers, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I would have thought like handkerchief shipping would have made a lot more sense, because that was really what cemented the childhood bond between Serena and Ash when they first met, because Ash actually helped Serena by putting a handkerchief or a bandana on her wound, and I thought that would make more sense than a Moor shipping. But there are a lot of reasons why I don't understand why shippers name certain ships, which is why one of the reasons why I don't care about shipping is because there's always this name that I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. For example, when in Diamond and Pearl, there was a shipping that was called Morpheus shipping, and if you know what Morpheus shipping, it's a shipping between Ash and Angie that Ash met during a Pokemon summer school arc, and as well as another episode where Angie was kind of like a breeder, kind of like Brock, I guess, or a daycare person. Sorry, it was daycare, not breeder, daycare. Apologies. And the only reason why it was called Morpheus shipping is one particular scene where they're seen napping in the same general area, and I'm like, what? What? Why are you naming these ships? These particular ships. Now, some of them make sense. I think the Ash and Misty ship is what um the uh is like poker shipping or whatever, and that kind of makes sense. Oh, what the okay, so we have advanced shipping Ashame. That made sense because the series was called Pokemon Advanced Generation or Advanced Series. um so okay, apparently knee guy shipping is for Ash and Iris, don't know why. um Pearl shipping Ash and Dawn, that kind of makes sense because I believe Dawn's, no, I don't think that, no, okay, never mind. Because one of the games was Pearl shipping, and I guess Diamond shipping wouldn't work as much. I don't know why. Um, so Pearl shipping made sense, and yeah, Poke shipping for Ash and Misty. Okay. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that don't make much sense, really. I mean, but there are some things that make sense. Like appeal shipping is apparently Dawn and Zoe. Contest shipping is May and Drew. You know, so some of these make sense. Some of these do make sense. But a lot of them don't make sense, and I'm just like for example, Ash and Serena, Amur shipping. Hold on, let me go to the article and see why it was named. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Okay, so the name is derived from the French word amour, meaning love. It was chosen as this name because the Kalos region is inspired by France, and Serena has a canonical crush on Ash. Now, why? Why? When Ash and Serena met, they were in Pallet Town, I believe, or they were in the Kanto region. Why? I mean, if you remember correctly, Ash and Serena met in a camp with Professor Oak's camp, summer camp, or whatever like that, and Ash was looking for a polywag or something like that, and oh man, this is gonna be 40 episodes, 40 minutes after all. I was hoping to cut it up for you. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people choose these names. Some of these are ridiculous. Some of them make sense, which is why I never understood the whole shipping thing anyway. Because someone officially named something in some weird community, and some people agree, and I just don't agree. I mean, I think handkerchief or bandana shipping would have made far more sense because that was really what made Serena remember Ash. Serena even kept that handkerchief all those years, and that would have made a more sense of a name for the ship than Amore shipping, simply just because it's based off of the Kalos region. Excitement shipping probably would have made more sense because at least that would have been related to the actual games, but whatever, whatever. Anyway, this is probably going to be 45 minutes long. I apologize. I only wanted these to be 30 minutes long. I swear I only wanted these to be 30 minutes long. Anyway, so we'll ignore that for right now. I didn't want to get into that because there's still the next final episode. Okay. So the final episode is aiming to be Kalos Queen, Serena makes her debut. Serena finally performs in a showcase for the first time. What sort of performance will she put on? Her friend Shauna enters too. They'll be rivals aiming for the same dream. So what that tells us is that Shauna will indeed be appearing once more. Hold on. Oh, I hate you right now. Okay, hold on. Okay. So what we have here is Serena or Shauna is confirmed to appear, which is good. And also Serena will be making her first showcases. Now, I need to be a little bit fair. In another video, I called showcasing or what Serena was doing a half-assed version of contest, but let me give you what exactly showcases are, or Pokemon try Pokelons. I still, how's it not Tripokathalon? Why is it Tripokalon? That sounds weird. Well, here's the problems with showcases. Only girls are allowed to enter. That seems like the biggest bull I ever heard for a quest for any girl to have or anyone. Now, I understand this may have been so Ash and Clement don't enter, and maybe people had issues with Brock and Ash entering like contests with May and Dawn or something like that. I don't think Brock ever entered a contest with Dawn in it, but Brock did enter a contest with May in it, so that may have been one of the reasons why. But um, I don't know. Okay, so here's some of the things that they do. There's a theme performance and can encompass activities such as Pokeprops, grooming Pokemon, or performing props. Blah 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 blah. The second section is general freestyle performance, which is the same in each Pokemon series. The Pokemon performer and their Pokemon perform together on the stage, making full use of the Pokemon's capabilities. It is similar to the performance stage of Pokemon contest. So apparently there's only two parts of this, apparently, as I'm seeing here. Oh, that's weird. There should be a third one. Since it's a Pokemon, there's only 3 seconds. Anyway, I disagree with this. I don't think it's a very good thought out thing, because one of the reasons why I like contests so much was because they had battles. Now, I understand, oh no, battles, but the thing about contests was it wasn't about knocking your opponent out as it is with Ash and his battling. His battling is about knocking the other Pokemon about, but contest was about making your moves beautiful and appealing and dazzling, and it wasn't about just knocking your opponent. It was about being better, aesthetically pleasing than your opponent while using Pokemon battles. Now, if your Pokemon is knocked out during a contest battle, you do lose, so there is that, but it wasn't about knocking about an opponent. It's Pokemon. It was about being beautiful and pretty and stuff like that, which is why I don't agree with this showcase, because it's so limited that I just don't think it's going to work. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they'll make this interesting, but I as they as this, I can't see why Serena would want to be doing this. I mean, is this leading into contests thanks to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire being released and having contests again? But if this isn't going to lead into contests of something for Serena or even Shauna to do, I just can't really see any purpose. Especially when you need to like apparently win like 15 tournaments of showcases just to enter the big finale one where you can actually be crowned Kalos Queen. Yeah, it says or something like that. They have to do a lot, and that's worse than um contests, because you only had to win like 5 contests to get ribbons to enter the um grand festival. So I may be wrong here. Maybe this is a good thing for Serena. I'm not really sure. I don't really like Pokemon showcases because they don't have any battle aspects to them, and they're just about being pretty, and I'm just not sure how that's benefiting anyone, because as far as I'm seeing, it's just about being pretty. It's not being about strong as well. And I'm not seeing how the Pokemon themselves are actually going to get stronger if they're just performing and just showcasing their moves in pretty ways and stuff like that. But I could be wrong. I will see the images at least of this episode when it comes out February 25th or whatever. So maybe I will, or February 12th, sorry. February 25th, February 12th. So, yeah, but like I said, I'm not entirely sure. I do not agree with it. But that's just me. And it looks like I already hit the 45-minute mark already, so I might cut this a little bit more, maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, so that's pretty much all the titles, and this is just all about the titles and my thoughts on this and some extra stuff. I didn't quite get to it in today because I keep talking about nonsense apparently. But what I wanted to address was the future battle between Ash and Clemont, and I guess that will have to be saved for an additional video. In fact, maybe after I record this, I will start recording the other ones. So in the next video, I will definitely address Ash versus Clemont and other aspects of future gyms and the future things, and maybe I will touch up more on Serena and her Pokemon showcasing. So that covers this episode. As I said, they're the titles range from Inkay Malamar all the way to Serena's debut in Pokemon showcases. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoyed my comments, my opinions, and speculation, if there was any speculation. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.